If you're just joining us, this is another league match. This is going to be Spleebie versus mooglemod, and I'll let the comms go ahead. It's Wasteland Outlaw and secretly it's Sliver on commentary. Thanks, guys. Good luck and have fun.
All right. Hello, party people. Got an exciting match here. I believe this is the Desert Palace division between two longtime runners of this game. Got mooglemod on the left, Spleebie on the right. Anybody who's watched any of the 12 seasons of NMG League up till now will recognize those two names, and if you don't, well, now you'll recognize them for the next time. I am secretly a Sliver, joined here by Wasteland Outlaw. How are you doing today?
Not too bad. I'm really looking forward to this race. Got two solid runners. They both hover around that 125, 127 range, so this should be a fun watch.
Yeah, so mooglemod actually got his PB a little bit ago, a couple weeks ago. It's a 125.04, but he has been on a few paces that were faster than that since then. Spleebie, I don't remember how old his PB is, but he has a 125.27, so definitely going to be a nice competitive race in which nothing goes wrong for either runner. Only good things happening.
Yes, and no, good vibes, so we have no glitches in this one.
Yeah, no walls in the water. So, yeah, so this is Escape. You just have to go into the castle, and then you have to find your way out of the castle. Preferably with the princess in tow, but that's been not 100% guaranteed in previous leagues. I can think of 3 or 4 times when people forgot to bring the princess with them. That doesn't really work, because you need her. You're too weak to shove the bookshelf by yourself. You need her help.
Link is very capable of killing Ganon on his own. He just needs Zelda to help him move a bookshelf. I know personally I've almost gotten out of Zelda's cell without grabbing her before, so it's possible. I'm looking forward to watching Moogle run. Just, finished up with the NMG mentor program myself. Still working on a full completion. I got a little bit far behind, but Moogle was a big help in there, so it's gonna be fun to watch him run this.
Yeah, the mentor program sponsored here by ZSR just wrapped up. We had our final race on this past Saturday, so we definitely had a good time with that. I would encourage anybody who's thinking about speedrunning this game to look out for announcements in that vein if we decide to do another one.
Huge shout out to Pops for putting that on.
I definitely enjoyed my time in it, even though I wasn't available for the first 2 or 3 weeks.
There you go. Pops just announced. It's going to be annually February through March. So
we heard it here first. Let's go.
Both runners pretty much synced up coming out of Castle Tower basement.
Yeah, I feel like they're gonna be synced for a while. There are a few rooms in Escape that are like RNG heavy, but not very many. The next one where you might see someone take a short lead might be like the Key Rat, because there are some RNGs that can burn about 2 seconds, and there are some that are very, very fast. Or if, you know, Spleebie just completely whiffs on the bookshelf, then that... Or I guess it's not a
Sometimes
bookshelf.
happens
I guess it's a sword shelf, or like
Altar?
one of those... I don't know. You needed a shelf for their ornamental swords. Oh! Well, that sure is a way that the snakes can line up. It's marching 2 by 2.
I'd honestly say if you don't pump anywhere, that water is the place you need to learn to pump.
Yeah, so water doesn't require that you be extremely precise in order to save time there. You only have to get one direction change every 4 frames instead of one every 2 frames. Now, obviously you want one on every frame to maximize your movement, but you will still, it's a lot easier to save time in water and grass, actually. Grass has the same movement speed as water. Alright, we are out of Escape. Moogle looks like about 2 seconds ahead, but Spleebie's going to gain a second back here, because if you're at 1 heart out of Escape, there's that annoying little beeping sound in the background that tells you, hey, you're low on health. But what that does actually here is it'll speed this text up a bit, and now you can see he stuck to the priest a little bit, but caught up about a second worth of time, because it makes the text scroll a lot faster.
Both plenty high out of the sync screen to avoid that green guard. Is always good.
Yeah, so some enemies spawn in different places depending on where Link transitions the screen. That one just happens to we just happen to know how to get him on that advantageous walking path, and it's not that hard to get to, so we just do it.
Fortunately, the Octoroks are not playing with Spleebie today.
Yeah, they can be jerks. Just kind of get in the way all the time. Moogle had a decent overworld, though. Spleebie wanted that heart back. I don't know if he like would regularly do that in a PB attempt, but you definitely want to take that opportunity to keep your health as high as possible, because we have had a few disasters in Eastern in this league, even though it's only the third or fourth day of races, so I want to reduce that chance as much as possible.
damage boost is no problem for either one of them, we'll head to the back.
Yeah, that's one of the things, like, if you're just starting out, that's one of those things that I would definitely practice a lot, just because it's really early in the run, and if you mess it up, it can snowball into other splits.
Yeah, my mentor made us do that room 5 times in a row until you got it right, and it took me probably about 50 attempts to get it.
So for those of you just joining us, Spleebie's current PB is 125.27. Moogle's current PB is 125.04. Okay, Moogle taking a little bit of a risky strat there, with the Igor shooting it off to the side. It's not risky in that, like, you can die from it or whatever, and it does save a little bit of time, but the risky part is if you get an arrow drop from that enemy, it's so far off to the side that you wouldn't be able to get it. So, it's a bit of a risk that you take to try to save some frames.
Yep, and both having a flawless Armos Knights fight. Good fight.
Alright, now the speed run can begin, because you get the go-go boots.
The old man hasn't talked to somebody in a while, so he's got a lot to say. And both are going to forego the rupees in the back.
I haven't played this game in English in quite a while, but I believe he's, like, telling you the lore of the green pendant, what the Pegasus boots do, and what to do next, which is collect your other 2 pendants. So that's a lot. It takes a lot of text boxes to tell you what to do.
I'll age myself a little bit. I don't think I've played this in English since about 98 or so.
Well, it's definitely been more recently than 98, but it has been. I don't think since I started playing in Japanese, I don't think I've played this game in anything but Japanese outside of Rando.
I'm not saying I'm old, but I got the game at launch when it launched in the US, so.
I think you will find you're probably in the majority. There's a lot of people that got this game at launch. We actually are. My family didn't get it at launch, but our Super Nintendo came with it instead of Super Mario World. So
I remember the Christmas very well. The 3 boxes under the tree for me and my brother. That was it for Christmas. One was Super Nintendo with Super Mario World. One was Zelda, and the other was Super R-Type. That's all we got that year. I was happy.
Yeah, I bet. Super R-Type's a nice, cool little 2-player. It's a fighting game, right?
It's a shooter, side-scrolling shooter.
Okay.
Obese, I didn't invent the wheel, but my book reports were done with rock and chisel.
Alright, so this is Desert Palace. It's a big square with a lot of really long lines that you can use these brand new boots in. And, oh, root cannonballs. Root cannonballs again?
Both get root cannonballs, but avoid them. Oh, and then I curse Spleebie, and he gets hit up him on the way out.
Yeah, he did walk down a little bit, but I think he needed to actually load the things in to avoid that. Oh, Spleebie with the chest turn. Let's go. So if you press a direction at on the same frame as you open a chest, you'll see Link's sprite turn. He can turn left, he can turn right, or he can turn all the way down. Doesn't really. There are a few places where it can maybe save one frame, but by and large, chest turns are not really worth it. Just swag. Alright, and we're coming up on every new runner's favorite boss, Landmo. So each worm takes 4 arrows to kill. However, they are moving in random patterns, so we do what we can. Hopefully get them down in, I don't know, 4 cycles or less is probably all you can really hope for in a race setting, but optimally about 2 cycles. Decent start by both of them. Alright, Speedie's last Landmo goes down first. Optimally 1 cycle has anybody ever gotten a 1 cycle in a run?
I've never seen it.
Close has, I believe you.
I'm personally a run out of arrows and swing my sword kind of cycle guy.
Yeah, Landmo takes a lot of practice. No.
Spleebie misses the fake flipper.
Yeah, so the way that this is supposed to work is on the same frame as you enter the water, you transition the screen. That makes the game forget to check if Link has the Zora's flippers or not. And then the game just kind of assumes. The only thing is, when you're in that fake flipper state, you can't get hit or bad things happen. But we avoided that this time.
And by bad things, we mean your run is pretty much over.
Your run is literally over, yes, because you can't submit that run anymore.
The game just figures, why would you jump in the water without flippers? You got to have the flippers if you're jumping in the water.
Moogle with some forgiving cabbages there. Only took maybe one hit, and then looks like he got maybe blocked by a Buzzplop somewhere.
Honestly, I don't sweat the big green cabbages as much as I sweat these dead rocks. There's a Japanese programmer, even after 30 years, that laughs about programming those dead rocks.
I hope whoever came up with and programmed dead rocks both perpetually have a rock in their shoe.
May they step on all the Legos.
Oh, here we go. I don't know if you've ever seen this before, but
I have
yeah,
seen this. It's a great showboat strat.
This should be required, honestly. It's required tech. So, Spleebie armed spin speed, came down, picked up that pot. Because he has the pot over his head, it won't let him go up those stairs, but what it will do is activate super speed. So now he's moving at super speed with the pot over his head. And funny things are happening. That is a bit of a shout out to a past member of this community. This is not Yoho. Used to love doing that. It looks like Spleebie got an arrow drop, which is cool, because he was on 8 before, which is kind of borderline, but you kind of want some for the next segment before you enter Castle Towers, so that's a big arrow drop.
I haven't seen the dash bomb jump setup in a long time.
Yeah, so what that does is, so normally you would have to set up on the last pixel next to the pit. This one is a little more forgiving. You just you bonk off the wall and it extends that window by, I believe it's 7 pixels, but someone can correct me on that. I've never actually done that strat. I just always learned the pit spin setup. Alright, we'll have no disasters on Moldorm. Nobody's getting knocked off. Okay, one down, 2 down. Okay, we're good.
The setup I usually use for that bomb jump is hold my sword out and line the shield up halfway with the pit, and then that's how I do it.
Yeah, lots of people have different ways of doing different stuff, and it mostly gets to the same result. So just do what you're comfortable with, and as long as you aren't losing a tremendous amount of time on your setup, it shouldn't need to be changed. Alright, so Moogle's probably going to need the arrows from DM Descent here, because he's only on 2. Spleebie with the arrow drop in the dungeon is just going to run right past them. And, hey, did you know that money grows on trees in Hyrule? See, you just pull on it, and there it comes.
I did know that if you kill the correct number of enemies before pulling that tree, money does grow on trees. It's the one thing I've yet to learn is the item pools.
Yeah, it's not super important. But it's very useful to know. It does technically save time, but I think for the amount of time that it saves, like having to reroute basically basically from Hyrule Castle exit to here is a bit of a pain, so don't do that until you're absolutely ready.
Right. Both dashing up to the Master Sword and turning the corner and grabbing it. A lot of people don't realize you can grab it right there. You don't have to go all the way up the ped.
Yep. Both have huge arms. Nice bird dash on both sides. Yeah, we're just lockstep here. We're screen for screen. Spleebie just short of being able to skip that red. Maybe could have YOLO'd the red skip, actually. That would have kept him on 101, and then you just kind of hope for a drop from one of the ball and chain guards, because they are in the rupee pack. But, I mean, this is a race, so you're gonna see... You're gonna see safer stuff. You're not gonna see very many YOLO strats unless somebody's behind.
Moogle getting unlucky with those bonks in the forest there.
Yeah, he did get fortunate that the guard bailed him out to refill his health there, but yeah, not. That's just something you never mess up until you do, and then it's kind of throws you off a little bit. So hopefully we can just recover and shake that off. We're experiencing #JustDarkMaze things. Getting bullied relentlessly by those guards. Oh yeah, so the second chest in Castle Tower here is one of those that if you get a downwards chest turn, I think it saves 1 frame. I don't remember how much you move on chest turns though, so it may not even save a full frame. Actually, I'm lying. Your first frame when you face downwards is always 1 pixel, so...
Alright, Spleebie gonna head into AGA 1 or the Great Equalizer.
Yeah, so on average, you can expect 3 or less on some amount of runs. So blue ball probabilities are in the chat there. Yeah, 3 blue balls is the most likely at 31.25%. And then gets progressively worse from there. I would say ideally you want 0, but 0 blue balls actually tends to curse the run, so...
I've only ever had it happen once, and yeah, the run was pretty cursed after that.
I'll just do 10,000 runs and you'll get 625 of them. On average.
Well, Spleebie's having a run of blue balls right now.
Yeah, it looks like he's gonna get stuck at 3 though. So it's good from that angle. Yeah, he had 0 into 3, which always feels bad, but then you just have to remind yourself, okay, this is the average.
Right. And see, what I remember Spleebie for is one of the first races I ever commentated was with him on a 100% run, where I believe it was 81 digs he had to do at dig game to get the heart.
Yeah, that was a heck of a clip. It's floating around somewhere. Okay, so it looks like Moogle might have had 4 blue balls.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Spleebie's
Spleebie is
3.
81.
So a bit of a lead for Spleebie, but hardly insurmountable. Although, as every runner knows, everything goes perfectly in races, so Moogle just has to be a gamer, I guess.
Spleebie's sitting a little bit better on rupees right here. He can, if he takes a hit, he can take 1 and go back get the monkey. Unfortunately, Moogle's not in that same. He's going to have to do this perfect, which shouldn't be a problem.
So Spleebie actually got the rare bad RNG there, where the moblin throws his trident right in the place where you want to walk. So if you're a newer runner, I would recommend going back and looking at that to know how to deal with that RNG. Basically, you just have to boomerang the Ropa and walk through there. But it's a very rare RNG, and it's hard to force the practice hack to do it. So it's better to learn from a restream. Spleebie, please.
Well, both are now in pod, or as I call PIA. Figure out the acronym for yourself.
This is ESR. We don't have to be. We're not as restricted as in other places.
And the only reason I call it a pain in the ass is it's just the key logic in this dungeon can be insane if you don't know the order.
Yeah, and if you don't know how to break the dungeon, then you have to kind of go out of your way and do a bit of a looping path to get all the keys that you need. Luckily, we know how to just get a bomb to blast us through a pipe and skip all that.
Yep, I had a buddy the other day start playing randomizer, and he asked me what glitches he needed to learn, and I said there's 2 bomb jumps you need to learn. This one and Ice Palace bomb jump.
Unfortunate there for Spleebie, but hopefully he can get in position to at least get over the gap. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, I was afraid he was a little low there when the bomb was about to go, but he corrected it.
He's also going to be down a bomb, but there are a few opportunities that he will have to get another bomb somewhere. Oh, he's not even down a bomb. Never mind. Alright, so we're gonna make our way through some enemy rooms to another big jerk at the end of this little sequence, which can get a little scary, but these are two very seasoned runners.
I would assume they're both just going to do spin speed and kill him with the hammer. Call it a day.
Yeah. So the spin speed version here isn't just for extra speed. It's also the safest way to kill this enemy because you know the extension on the hammer hitbox is so good. The hammer hitbox when you're going upwards is really bad.
Yeah, I believe this extends that hit back by at least 1 or 2 pixels, if I remember right.
It's more than that, but I don't remember exactly how many. It extends it by the length of the fighter sword.
Enough to where if you don't do it, you can't hit Helmasaur with the hammer from swinging it up.
You still can, but it's pixel perfect. So this extends the window from 1 to, I believe it's 4 pixels. It replaces the hammer hitbox with the dashing hitbox. Do you remember how many pixels that is, Fox? I was told it's approximately the length of the fighter sword, which was good enough for me to make like visual cues.
Yeah, that makes sense. It looks about fighter swordish.
Alright, this Thieves Town section is extremely technical, and I don't know how anybody ever does it. I'm very bad at this segment. But like you see there's a lot of dashing, there's a lot of stopping, redashing, and then here in the Grove on Moogle's side, and eventually with Spleebie, you'll see they're gonna do a little bit of a setup to get what's called a quick warp. Quick warps save 34 frames, and you can tell if they got the quick warp by watching the lower part of the screen during the mirror transition. You'll see it kind of snap into place instead of kind of waving like the rest of the screen during the mirror animation.
Really makes it so you just don't have to listen to Flute Boy do his entire thing. You can just get the flute and then it'll finish the cutscene and let you get out of there.
Yeah, I kind of like the flute song, but we only get to really hear it twice, right next to each other, about halfway through.
I believe I've heard it lovingly referred to as the Hyrulean national anthem.
I will ask the fact checkers and get back to you on that. Very good segment by Moogle so far.
Yeah, he had some really clean dash lines through there.
Yeah, I didn't really see. I mean, Spleebie had a really good one too. It's just his started later, so it looks like he's behind. But the segment times, if you time them both, were within a second of each other.
Now, if you're a newer watcher to NMG and you're going, why are they skipping chests? Well, these are two experienced runners that know the chests they have to get. So they're basically avoiding any chests that would hold rupees, items, or like the compass and the map. They know they need the big key and small keys, and they know which chests to get.
Yeah, and each chest animation is a little over 2 seconds, so opening an extra chest is kind of bad.
I know for runners like me that come from Rando, when I first started NMG again, it was a big breaking of habit to not open every chest on the map.
Not even just from Rando, like when you play Zelda games, like the whole point of the game is to open chests, right? And then coming to speedrunning, the whole point of the game is to skip as many as possible. It's really hard to not just like look at that chest that right next to the bomb pit and say, oh, well, it's right there. I should just grab it, but
I watched a video a short time ago how Zelda games are really good at quote-unquote giving you a tutorial without giving you a tutorial. Like when you play Link to the Past, you are in your uncle's house and right there's a chest, so the game is teaching you to open chests. It's already building that habit. Well, now you've got to break it a little bit.
Yeah, I feel like most games will do that. They'll hide the tutorial behind, and most older games, I should say, were really good at hiding the tutorial and not being as handholdy as games now are. Like, tutorials have always existed, but like it was always like in a separate book, or like you said, like the first few missions make you do the basic things. And now with modern games, I feel like they just run you through like a text tutorial more often than,
or a 10-hour tutorial zone.
That
right,
would
Moogle
become
can start the blind fight.
That would become 20 minutes played and a Steam refund for me.
Good blind fight.
Even kind of got a little bit of a swag kill there. So he did have sword beams. So if you have sword beams, you can kill Blind when she's fully outside of that light square, and that just means you started the death animation early. It doesn't really save time overall, like, because having sword beams lags the room a little bit, and it kind of evens out killing the boss early, but it's a nice little swag thing, so you can show you know what you're doing.
All right, now Moogle's gonna go ahead and start his speed or his shopping here.
Yeah, this bombable hut is impossible. So you watch these runners just kind of do it, and it kind of understates how difficult that screen actually is. It takes a lot of practice to get that down. Oh, did he get it? Yeah, not quite. Okay, there we go. Top rock frog talk. Let's go. So
I was watching Moogle's screen. I missed it.
Yeah, so the frog is jumping up and down, so his hitbox will oscillate between two different pixels, and if you catch him on the right cycle and you're at the right position, you can talk to him from the top instead of the second rock. I don't remember how much time it saves, but it's not enough for me to do it. It's more just something to shout out toward League. How's the water looking? We haven't seen it yet.
I believe this is what triggered it for Fox, was dwarf turn in.
For those of you who were not around for the previous race that was here on Zelda Speedruns, one of our runners triggered a glitch that we're not really sure what it is as of yet, but it will definitely be you'll definitely have the best people on that right away. It was in Zora's domain, but I believe it started on Smith turn-in.
We noticed it when he was in Dark World and all the water had what looked like pegs in it, and then when he got into Zora's domain, it got really bad.
Alright, looks like Moogle took a couple of hits, but should be fine as long as he doesn't take any more. Spleebie's a little healthier here. Alright, so Spleebie's approach was a little bit slow there. I was slightly concerned. There is a fun thing that if you end up being too slow with that strat that you just used, that the Wallmaster can like
Well, Moogle, why don't you just make short work of that moth?
Yeah, it was a 1 spike fight, and that's a 0 spike fight by Spleebie. So, wow. Both runners just absolutely killing it.
I was about ready to say it's one of those bosses that a lot of runners loathe, and these guys just make him look like nothing.
Yeah, anybody that's played this game casually will tell you how frustrating Moth is just as a boss. And even when you're using speedrunning tactics, it's a bit easier, but not much.
Yeah, it takes a lot of people a little bit to realize that if you hit him with the sword up into the spikes, he can only register 1 hit at a time, and he'll register the spike hit before your sword hit, so it won't count.
Actually, it's the reverse. He registers your sword hit, and then damage gets overwritten by the spikes, because that's just how things work in this game. If 2 instances of damage are too close to each other, it'll take the most recent one.
Okay, I just had it explained to me wrong.
Moogle taking a trident to the face. Hopefully finds a recovery heart here. Nope, Spleebie also taking a trident to the face. That guard is earning his paycheck today. So Moogle got the heart from the rock. Looks like Spleebie got it from the bush. And you really do want sword beams for this second room in Ice Palace, because those floating jellyfish or berries or whatever you want to call them, they always tend to spark exactly when you swing your sword to try and kill them. So having sword beams makes sure that the sparking doesn't really matter.
They always tend to spark at the wrong time, and the wrong time is always when you're going to swing at them.
Yeah, so good job on both sides there. They both got the same spawn, which is very, very rare. But both loading up that fire rod in time to clear the path. Unfortunately, Spleebie looks like he got stuck swimming somehow.
They swam around the whirlpool. But both got that ice guard with the fire rod right off the entrance, so that was good.
Yeah, so that actually gets set up when you flute to Link's house to start this split. When you exit the screen, you play the flute again, and then that sets a variable that lets the fire rod splash stay on screen for a little bit longer, and that means you can fire earlier and it will stay on screen long enough to kill that Freezor. We use a similar concept in one of the future splits in Misery Mire to actually wrap it through a wall. Alright, Moogle using his last bomb for Ice Palace bomb jump. No one has ever fallen after doing this successfully. Welcome in, Raiders. This has been a very tight race since the word go. So we're about 2 rooms apart here. Looks like great cold stare fight there by Moogle. Looking at their splits, I'm trying to see what shopping they do. But I can't tell. They're too different.
I'm looking at it too, and I cannot tell what shopping they do either. So, guess we're both in for a surprise here to see what they do.
Oh, that's why I can't tell, because I'm looking at the wrong split on Moogle's side. Okay, looks like Moogle's gonna probably go up and get Ether, whereas straight to Swamp for Spleebie. So we're gonna have a little bit of divergence here. At least for a while. We won't know who's ahead until probably near the end of, I guess, Meyer entrance, maybe. You can see they should be even then. So Swamp Palace is intended to be the second dungeon, but we do it here because it's not very fast to do it second. And we kind of want the hook shot for this next bit, so we just kind of do it at convenience.
I will say, when I came from randomizer back to NMG, doing Swamp the intended way, I had to relearn it. Do strats that you can't do in NMG that you do in randomizer, so it's all good. It's all fun.
Yeah, so the thing about Swamp Palace is, like, you're in here on 11 hearts. Most things only do half or 1 heart of damage, so you're not really ever in danger of dying. It's more that every time you get hit, you lose about half a second or so until you're able to move Link again, and then you have to reposition. So you kind of have to keep those to a minimum, and then also make sure you're on the correct pixels where those little shooters aren't going to get you, and make sure that you're doing everything correctly, that, you know, you're not just going to waste time waiting around or lagging the screen or anything like that. So there's a lot going on that you don't necessarily see. And if one thing goes wrong, then it can add up really quick.
Yep, and neither of these two will do it because they're experienced, but if you don't go down and get that key in the bottom there and flood that key out, then you've got to exit the dungeon and come right back in.
Yeah, so that's not really a concern because we don't have the hook shot. Because the only other available key right now to open the door above is over to the right, and you need the hook shot to get it, and it's locked behind that key. So that's maybe more a thing for randomizer, but not really ever a concern in the speed run. Alright, fairly mundane Swamp Palaces so far for both. I saw Moogle get sniped by one of those shooters, but a boring swamp is a good swamp. You don't want any disasters happening where you have to fix it on the fly. Now, notably, Moogle is at 0 bombs here, so you may see him grab one of the recovery bombs back in the back here. Or he may not. He's gonna do a trick in Misery Mire where a bomb is not required to complete the dungeon. But it's always good to have the bomb for a backup strat in case you mess up.
Yeah, if you miss Spooky Glitch, it's always nice to have that.
Spleebie, unfortunately, I think maybe just a little too slow on one of the hooks to take home that 1 cycle, or that 0 cycle, but does the rest of the fight very well, and he caught that crystal very, very low, so now he will be standing inside of the text in a 4th wall break that we call Spleeb Catch. Technically, you can do this with any crystal, but it's easiest to do it in Swamp because you end up at the bottom of the room naturally. And that's a good one. He's up to his ears in text there. Alright, Spleebie will now go and get his Ether Medallion that we saw Moogle get earlier. Moogle will get to go straight to Mire here, so we will converge our routes back. And this is the reason that Spleebie does this way, because if you have the hook shot here, you move a lot faster on these stairs by doing what are called hook climbs. I mean, if you're good at the game, you can save time with that. I am not quite that good. You'll notice both runners shifted underneath that rock. Basically, you just need to make it to the rock so that the duck exits the screen at the right altitude in order to set up the variable for the spooky action at a distance glitch. But they go underneath the rock because it's a much smoother movement, and there's less risk that you're gonna be standing still for any amount of time. With some bad luck on that fire snake there. That fire snake has 3 positions that he can spawn in, and that's the worst one. Oh, I wasn't even looking for the bird toss. Yeah, for anybody that doesn't know, There are some people have pledged some donations to charity, depending on what happens in NMG League, and one of those incentives, my incentive, is that anybody who tosses that frozen bird into the lake, that adds $1 to my donation to a local bird shelter. I believe we're up to 7 with that one, but it'll run till the end of league. It also counts if you carry the bird in with you, if you don't want to just throw him in the water, so that's kind of rude. But yeah, there are a few other incentives by other people in NMG leagues, and I think that's just a really cool thing that people do every season.
Yeah, I'd heard him talking about it in the last race, and I wasn't really sure about what they were talking about, but that is actually a really cool thing that they're doing.
Yeah, Spleebie maybe going a little too low for that middle pot and slid down to the bottom one, which exposed the bunny beam. I was a little concerned about that. Got off the screen. Oh. Alright, well, good thing that Moogle got that bomb, because I'd have to look at the instant replay to see what happened on that spooky attempt. Looks like Spleebie isn't gonna get the full spooky either, but he's gonna get the part that saves the most time. Oh right, yeah, he needs a bomb for Ice Rod Cave. Alright, oh boy. Everything is fine. No disasters here. Okay, we made it. Alright, so Moogle's best chance to get a bomb right now is to flute over to the Ice Rod Cave area. There's a rock that you can pick up. It has a 50% chance of having a bomb underneath it. Hopefully there's just one sitting there for him. If not, he's probably just gonna have to reset the screen till he gets one. He has the perfect number of bombs, one for Ice Rod Cave and one for the end of the game. Moogle will get his one for the end of the game in Turtle Rock. But the Turtle Rock bomb doesn't really help him here. Alright, good.
It's the bomb off the rock. It was good.
This is crazy. We're an hour and 9 minutes, and we're back synced. This is definitely the closest race I've seen so far in League. I didn't watch the earlier one though, which I would expect that one to be fairly close.
Yeah, honestly, I'd rather see these races, you know, be pretty synced close and have a blowout.
Allegedly, this Turtle Rock Quick Warp is free, so we're gonna see how free it actually is. Alright, Moogle got it. Spleebie got it. Alright, well, I guess it's free. I'm just bad. So traditionally you would see Moogle pick up the bomb in that first room in Turtle Rock, but he does a modified version of a later room that will take him past the bomb, so no worries there.
Oh, both get the quick hook shot off the platform. They don't have to wait for it to come around, so that was good.
And this is one of the coolest rooms in my opinion, where you just take damage off the roller and use the iframes to phase through the other roller. Ideally, looks like Moogle was not quite fast enough. Maybe too fast. I couldn't tell what happened there. Oh, rude chomps. Man, that right chomp just won defensive MVP, I think. And he blocked 3 or 4 different shots.
It's always frustrating when you're trying to get that turned and those chomps just want to play. It's like, don't you guys know you're in the wrong game anyway?
Yeah, so question in chat about where Moogle's gonna get his bomb. You actually need one before the mini Helma room in Ganon's tower, because you need to blow open the bombable floor to fall down to Ice Armos. So yeah, he's gonna get it in the Turtle Rock Peg Maze right before you go to Trinex. He does an unorthodox strat. It's not bad, it's just not one you normally see. Yeah, magic is a bit of an issue on both sides. We just got a full refill on Moogle's side, and I guess Spleebie's must have already dropped. Yeah. Oh no, he just got the bombs. Yeah, so it looks like Spleebie's full magic must have already dropped, and that's why he got the small magic underneath the pot. Because technically, he would have, I believe he would have had just enough to make it all the way through the dungeon, and then you get a full refill right before Trinex, but just want that extra little bit to make some rooms a little more comfy. Very nice laser skip by Moogle there. So the way that the laser skip works is, I believe it's only the front 4 pixels of the laser that actually hurt you. And then, like, beyond those front 4 pixels, you can stand on that laser and it doesn't hit you. So you just need to delay enough to let the laser go past you a little bit. And obviously they both did that very quickly.
Good Trinex fights on both sides.
Shout out to the heart under the pot that Spleebie picked up because he was on 4 hearts. Trinex does 4 hearts per hit, so. And you know what? Shout out to Sankart while we're at it. Alright, we're off to Ganon's Tower where we're going to use everything that we learned all throughout the game. Smash it all together in one 7 or 8 floor Tower of Terror.
I actually think Ganon's Tower is pretty fun for the most part. And there are parts that can get frustrating, but I think it's fun.
Yeah, I definitely think it's fun. It's hard to do fast. Just because some of the strats, there's not a very large margin of error, or like if you do an alternate strat, it's like significantly slower than the faster one. So just chaining all of those hard tricks together is extremely difficult, and like you're also like 78 minutes into the run at this point, so like it's also hard to keep focused. This is kind of a longer speed run. Like most of the speed runs that you see are only going to be a few minutes long, and this one's somewhere between an hour 25 and an hour 30 for runners of this caliber.
Right, and Pops brings up a good point in chat. She thought it was fun until she dropped some safeties, and I might be in the same boat. I dropped some safeties, and Ganon's Tower might not be so much fun anymore.
Alright, well, the Almost Knight turned red, but I don't think we're gonna have any lasting repercussions from that. He was always getting the chest anyway, so I don't think the red guard lost him any time. How do they have that much health already? Well, you start the game with 3 hearts, and there are 10 bosses that drop heart containers, and there's a heart container in the sanctuary for a total of 14.
Good gauntlet so far on Moogle's side.
Spleebie also having a decent gauntlet, but is very low on health. Took some knocks to save a little bit of time.
Yeah, I'd chase those blue guys around the room a little bit too.
Everything's fine. We just got a little too close to the bomb there, got knocked way over to the right, but luckily you can recover that because you get enough invincibility frames that you can just phase right through the spike. I think Moogle was setting up to, or like stuttered like he was gonna try to hover, but I think I'll have to ask him whether he was actually gonna hover or whether he was memeing.
I know, watching his cam, something is funny that's going on there, so I'm guessing that's what he was getting ready to do, and Troldorm was hiding up in the corner from him, so still cleaned it up. I thought the hover was coming too.
It may have been a fake out for the restream, because I don't recall seeing him hover in runs.
Nice try. Ooh.
Yeah, that was a nice pattern. I think one of his shots might have gotten eaten, actually. That looked like too much health, but... Right? Spleebie also taking down the wizard. Oh no. Don't do it. Don't do it! Okay. So there is actually a way to clip out of the room if you set it up like he just did, but he didn't set it up so that it clipped all the way out. That is very much banned tech in NMG, but if you don't leave the room, then it's fine. Blue Ganon for Moogle. Annoying, but manageable. Just means you don't get any pre-hits before you have to go for Torch Glitch. But it also does take Ganon out of the fight for a pretty significant amount of time, so it kind of gives you time to breathe and focus on what you're going to do next. So what causes the Blue Ganon is... So normally you're supposed to kill Ganon with silver arrows, and normally you're supposed to slash and then he turns blue, and then you shoot him with a silver arrow. We don't do that because we don't get silver arrows because it's really slow. But what happens is he will warp. He will try to warp and then decide that he doesn't want to, and then Link swings his sword. And get your GGs in chat for Moogle, who is hopefully going to cross the bridge first and not have a disaster. Spleebie right behind him. I think about 3 or 4 spins left.
So yeah, GG's to Moogle crossing the finish line in 126.16.
Apparently I can't count. There's actually 8 spins left. Get your GGs in chat for both of these runners. They both put on extremely solid runs. And, you know, to put up a 126 is a challenge in itself, but to do it in a race setting is that much more challenging. So, very good show by both runners, and we will see if they want to join us for some interviews here.
Great race by both runners, you know. Little under 40 seconds apart, so you can never complain about that.
Yo, what is up, guys? That race was crazy. I was watching the whole time. We were like, how many lead changes was that? It had to be at least 10, and that was nuts.
Yeah, there were a few. But yeah, you guys were pretty much lockstep the whole way, except for the little bit that you diverged on shopping.
Yeah, and it was crazy too how
you diverged on your shopping, and then it was like you guys synced right back up, and it was fun to watch.
Right, because I was a little out of position for picking up the rock for Spooky, so I got Spooky 1, but I missed Spooky 2, and then had to use my bomb, and then we synced right back up because I had this like 20-second lead and it was gone instantly. But yeah, I was like a minute off of my like ideal like world average, and we were just lockstep the whole way. Like we were within 4 seconds into Aghanim, which is nuts. Like just absolutely deadlocked every step of the way.
Yeah, so
I was muted.
We're also joined by Spleebie TG.
Yo, great race.
Hey.
So
that was pretty crazy.
Moogle, you had a bit of a bomb adventure. How much of a sigh of relief was it when you picked up the rock and the bomb was there?
Oh, this happened to me the other day. I got 5th try Gamble Rock, and I was like, please don't let this be the thing that ruins my run, because I think 5th try would have been just about the difference in the race. So, yeah, that one was... I was clenching pretty hard on that one, and fortunately got it first try. Would hate for that to have been the difference.
Yeah, I want to say coming out of the mentor program and now doing my first comms after the mentor program and watching it and seeing why you guys do what you do, you guys made this real fun. So I appreciate both of you.
Yeah, and it's been good having you in the community, and appreciate you picking this up too. Being a part of events and stuff, that's what it's about. It's why we do this.
So we have to ask, on that Moldorm fight in Ganon's Tower, What were we laughing about? Because we thought you were going to hover for a second.
Yeah, that's it's a little April Fool's joke for you guys.
It looked like you maybe faked out the restream a little bit.
Yeah, I was like, can I go for? But I ended up going for like the middle of the platform, and I'm like,
Got him.
I thought about trying to hover to catch up because I needed it, but I haven't done any hovers in a couple days, so.
Yeah, I didn't really get to see, like, we were pretty much synced up going into TR Overworld, and then I was pretty much locked in the rest of the way there. I was watching up to that point, but I really didn't see what happened between TR Overworld to Triforce.
Yeah, I had bad chomps, bad pokies, bad Trinex.
And just overall trying not
I guess the
to
Trinex
die
is fine. But
on Spleebie's side.
and then GT
It
was just a mess. Like I was 4 hearts for the climb, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that sounds about right. You got messed up in maybe G1, or maybe it was before that.
And I menued the bombs early to try and drop them, but I forgot that I still needed the hook shot, and so then I just messed up a bunch of rooms.
For some
Instead
reason,
of menuing back.
it was like absolutely no nerves until dropping in again, and because the last time I was on a really good pace, I fucked up the phase 2 and missed the 124 after that. So once I got the 1-in-1, I was like, okay, we're just gonna play it safe and bring the lamp out and bring it home.
Yeah, and I mean, Blue Ganon is slow, but sometimes it's relief. Like okay, I don't have to think about what to do. He's just kind of taken out of the fight for a while, so we can just make sure that
You're
torch
gonna
gets
lose a
lit.
few seconds, but it's whatever. And there was a little bit of buffer there, so you can kind of breathe at that point. Aside from like Meyer was bad. As soon as I got to Dark World, it was like, okay, let's go. Let's bust out some really good times, because I was like, how are we still tied at like 32x light worlds? This is insane.
We were pretty much tied starting Turtle Rock, right? And I looked at my splits, I was like, I'm like 43 seconds behind. Like, how are we tied?
Yeah, I don't know if you saw, because I picked up the rock like a little bit too far left for Spooky, and then I got Spooky 1, and then I go into Spooky 2, and it just doesn't work. I tried it twice, so I ended up going into the Crystal Switch room, and that was like the exact amount of time you needed to catch up within like 4 seconds.
I don't think picking up the rock far left did anything.
Yeah,
It's the up and down that matters, not the left right.
If it was an altitude value issue, then Spooky 1 wouldn't have worked. So I think it was just like not being on the right pixel.
Barely missed the
Spooky 2.
timing on. Yeah.
Yeah, it could be. I guess definitely starting to get some nerves at that point in Meyer. Like, we're still like, 15, 20 seconds isn't that much difference, and overall, being on like a mid 126 pace is still pretty solid. You made no major errors in this run up to that point.
Yeah, and like sometimes especially in a split like Meyer, which is supposed to be like a super consistent split, you just kind of go on autopilot, and then when something like that goes wrong, it just kind of snaps you out of it, and you just have to get out of the room and diagnose it later.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, pretty happy with my first official league match overall. It's about time I finally joined one of these things. I finally am actually on a grind when League came around again. It's been like 4.5 years since I was really active in this game, so it's good to be back.
Yeah, 4.5 years, and you've already set a new PB on your grind. So yeah, hope you can have more. And Spleebie, I always lurk in your NMG Thursday things among other things because you stream pretty late in my time, so usually have it on when I'm trying to sleep. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And I haven't really been grinding, but trying to do at least one run a week.
Nice.
It's
enough to
yeah,
keep it
follow
fresh.
these.
I like that.
Follow these two. They're both extremely skilled. And yeah, thank you, Wasteland Outlaw, for jumping on comms. You said it's your first time.
No, my first ever commentary was actually with Spleebie when he decided he was going to open 81 chests and 100% run. So, for my second time doing NMG, I do quite a bit in the randomizer side, but it's always fun.
No, thank you both for doing the commentary here, and Pops for picking up the restream.
Yeah, thanks
Yeah,
for making
Pops
it happen, guys.
Yeah, Pops has
Hey,
been
yeah.
streaming for a long time, so we'll let her come in and take us out.
All right.
Thanks, guys. Good job. That was a really good watch. Yeah, I lost count of the lead changes, but nice race. Congrats on the win, Moogle, and great job, Spleebie. We're going to go ahead and send a raid out to this runner. I'm not very familiar with them, but it looks like they're aiming for a 124, so let's go wish them some luck, and you guys have a good night. And lots of races coming up the rest of the week, several tomorrow, so we'll see you back soon. Thank you.
Thanks,